Over the past 5 years, the speed of technology was moving a lot faster than both the speed of change and the speed of knowledge within the marketing industry. Enter 2020, and what we have witnessed over the past 9 months is the fastest game of catch-up we've ever seen. I'm Fadi Maktabi, and I'm the Managing Director of Hearts and Science MENA.
And I'm Dana Sarkis, Head of Marketing Science and Transformation.
We're looking forward to sharing with you our views on the accelerated changes that will transform the media, marketing, and communications world. The changes we'll be discussing with you today are by no means shiny new objects. They will define the successful companies over the coming 3 to 5 years. COVID-19 hasn't shaped anything new. It simply accelerated the changes that we were already moving towards. Remote isn't new. We've always had Teams and Zoom, but we just resisted using them. Digital transformation is not a new concept. COVID-19 simply accelerated the pace at which companies opted into that change. Commerce enablement is also not something new, but many companies and industries resisted an e-commerce first world because they didn't believe that it belonged to them. Enter lockdown, and their survival was put to the test, and so did their adoption of e-commerce.
With that accelerated speed of change and in an increasingly data-driven world, the lines between what defines a marketing executive and the technologist are getting blurred. Marketers are rushing to catch up with skills required to perform the jobs of today. It's no longer a matter of getting the basics of digital marketing right, but acquiring more advanced and specialized skills to adopt digital technologies to transform the business. Marketers who are able to harness new and emerging technologies can implement faster and more efficient go-to-market strategies and attract a global customer base. On the flip side, marketers who struggle with keeping up to the pace of change now have an unprecedented access to a widened pool of talent, highly skilled in STEM, which are fundamental skills shaping transformation journeys of today.
The 5 topics that we have identified to be the dominant factors are privacy, tech and design, analytics, machine learning and artificial intelligence, and remote working. Let's start with privacy. Privacy will take center stage in 2021 and challenge the ad world we know of today. If you really want to understand the power of privacy, just look at Apple and how they have embedded it as a main pillar in their marketing strategy. Both their shareholders and their consumers are applauding them with a close to $2 trillion valuation. 2021 will be the final year of the cookie, as marketers will be expected to move away from them and into an opt-in first-party data world. This will have great impact on both publishers and marketeers that haven't and don't focus on tackling the issue in 2021 for their business. Marketers will need to make sure that they develop seamless, beneficial, and reciprocal experiences for their customers to voluntarily opt in and share their data for greater personalization. When it comes to publishers and platforms, great content will continue the current trend we've been seeing and being put behind payment gateways. This is the trend that we've been seeing over the past couple of years as more and more subscription-based platforms move away from the advertising model and more into a subscription model. In the long run, along with the move away from cookies, this will eventually reduce the total advertising universe. Finally, on privacy, expect to see more government regulations around big tech. 2020 witnessed some of the most aggressive hearings against the Big Four, and talk continues increasingly around breaking them up. If history repeats itself, we could be looking at another splitting of a business like AT&T in the 80s and the attempt against Microsoft in the 2000s.
Our second prediction is about tech and design and how this one has accelerated as well to being in the limelight. There's obviously an increased focus on customer experience and user interface as we continuously witness that companies who build, improve, and innovate according to insights from their customer experiences and interactions always take up lead in their respective categories. And UX UI has always been one of the building blocks of designing a digital interface. Yet today, it's no longer in the long tail of elements or components of a digital transformation journey. With 40% of businesses placing customer experience as their top priority for digital transformation, we see roles in UX strategy and UI architecture surfacing and taking more prominence. If there is one company that has done this the right way, it must be Uber, where the whole tech ecosystem was built around fulfilling a user need through an efficient and effective interaction. This is one of my favorite slides, actually, as it clearly shows how technology can be created, adopted, and even discarded and rendered obsolete at an exponential rate compared to the slower and more stagnant pace of change of traditional organizations. Companies who wish to stay ahead of the curve need to institutionalize audit, and make it a recursive process. Audits are helpful in vetting current partners and technologies and scouting for what could be the next big thing. That's why building and sustaining effective customer experiences is a continuous and reiterative journey, let alone digital transformation, which is in itself a cyclic journey.
So we've talked about collecting data and the experiences being built and optimized for a customer-first world. Let's now move into how do we access that data through our next key topic, analytics and cloud. It's no longer about big or smart data, it's about accessible, clean data that is readily available for activation. When working with businesses, the main hurdle when it comes to data is always, is the data clean? Is it available somewhere that I can have quick access to it? Or can we slice and dice the data in a specific granular way? And ultimately, is it data that can be used for activation or does it remain siloed? That's why, although the depth and breadth of data matters, it'll always be dwarfed by the utility of data. With greater first-party data adoption, reciprocal data partnerships, and leveraging the right technology will determine how much and how well the data can be used. We are seeing three key trends arise here, and businesses are being accelerated into this space throughout this pandemic. First of them is CRM. More and more companies are starting to see the value of personalized CRM systems that are ideally tied to loyalty programs, to both keep their customers well-informed and engaged, as well as upselling and cross-selling their products and services. Second is cloud. When it comes to cloud, it's no longer about having the data stored somewhere for easy access. It's about finding the right partner that can then add on an array of apps that grants greater analytics and viewpoints into that data set. The cloud provider chosen can then also plug into other various sources and make sure that that data is ready for activation. Third, it's analytics. We've all been through presentations where companies showcase their array of analytical products without ever thinking how and if these products are applicable to a specific business. That is why we are seeing greater focus on developing bespoke analytical solutions that tackle business problems for clients as opposed to a one-size-fits-all solution. These need to be recursively developed with their own measurement frameworks, with KPIs that make sense for that specific business. Ultimately, moving away from standard media marketing metrics that just do not matter as much anymore.
Arriving at machine learning and AI, where rapid advances are happening in ever shorter cycles and impacting businesses and sectors at scale. After we've been talking and hearing about algorithm scripting and code development in marketing for some time, now the time has come to finally get a real feel of how deploying these algorithms can have a significant impact on the way we operate and grow our business targets. The pioneers in this field were always the tech companies who had built their customer experiences using machine learning. They've been able to design products, content like Netflix or Spotify, according to what consumers watched and listened to. TikTok as well has been harnessing this technology to maximize their user base according to what users like and interact with. Now, this trend is moving beyond the digital-first stars to a lot of brick-and-mortar businesses undergoing a transformation. We will witness how ML will improve their customer experiences not only on their websites, apps, and chatbots, but also in physical stores, call centers, and maybe even going a step further into developing ML scripts for existing tech like CRM. Therefore, scouting for talent or partners who knew how to operate platforms won't be a good enough criteria for selection. The market will need talent and partners who can think of ways to customize existing platform algorithms to answer business challenges. Google has two great examples of how existing platforms can be customized to generate higher revenue for clients through customizing existing scripts across both their DV360 and search platforms.
Our final accelerated transformation is remote, or the work from anywhere experiment that continues to work well for most companies. Remote will transform talent, partnership, and competition. As companies gain more access to talent from across the world, there is no better time to rethink the office of the future and the agile structures. We're expecting offices to shrink, talent to work in a more balanced and comfortable way, and structures to become a lot more agile and solution-based. COVID-19 exposed most of companies' weaknesses, all the way from the top of their total headcount, all the way down to the processes and how they're managed. Expect more mercenary hires, talent that is brought in from anywhere in the world to solve a business challenge or work on a specific project. As talent becomes more consultative, the implementation will continue to fall in markets where the cost is more competitive. This will create a new rise in offshoring and even stimulating specific businesses, economies in those specific markets. As marketeers become more solution-based and looking for transformation, agencies and technology teams will forge stronger partnerships.
So what should businesses do to stay ahead of the curve with all these inevitable changes happening in the tech and ad world? Fadi and I have taken you through 5 of the most prominent predictions, and for that, we've actually prepared a 10-point action plan for 2021.
Number 1, develop a data-driven strategy to increase opt-in customer data. Number 2, relook at your business model and see where you can increase customer convenience by adding recurring revenue through subscriptions.
Number 3, just like digital transformation, have a recurring approach to tech audits and implementations. Number 4, invest in talent and partnerships that help your business better understand UX UI.
Number 5, focus on ensuring that the right data is being collected and is at the closest proximity to activation. Number 6, use cloud to its full potential. Invest in a CRM system, develop analytics that work for your business.
Number 7, think of how your business can benefit from AI and ML for greater usage or product recommendation. Number 8, recruit and work with teams that understand platforms and code.
Number 9, redesign your company structure and processes for a remote-friendly work environment. And number 10, don't limit your partners geographically. Go global for the best service and capabilities.